Can you believe I'm about to redo the video that I just made? Because my mic was off. It was not off, there was no more battery on it. I'm so. Anyway, this is Shaitan. He doesn't want me to do good. But anyway, we're starting again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I was talking about the importance of having a Quran teacher. For the longest, I was struggling with consistency and reciting the Quran and memorizing the Quran. So I would find myself like giving up many times. But that stopped when I understood the importance of having the Quran. And I have 5 reasons for you today, guys, to have a Quran teacher, basically, because I feel like it's a game changer in the way I was able to progress, alhamdulillah, on my Quran journey. And I feel like this is something we all need to know. So, Bismillah, let's get started. Number one reason is to follow the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Quran was revealed from Allah subhanahu wa taala through Jibril, to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it's really important to follow that same process that have to have someone that we can recite to and that can transmit the Quran to us basically. And I know that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would recite the Quran once with Jibril every Ramadan, and the last Ramadan I believe it was the 2 times. Alhamdulillah. The second reason would be to really discipline in your Quran journey. If you're not disciplined, if you're somebody like me that's kind of lazy, and if you're not consistent in what you do, especially in your Quran journey, there's no way you're going to be able to succeed. But when you have a Quran teacher, it really forces you to have that discipline, because for example, no matter how many days you take a Quran teacher, like let's say you take it for 1 day or 5 days a week or every day, whatever, you're gonna have to have discipline because every time you're gonna have to meet that teacher with a specific goal. And if you don't meet that goal, there's gonna be a problem down the line. I mean, it's okay sometimes to miss, but most of the time, you're gonna have that discipline. Okay, every time I have to wake up and I have to meet the Quran teacher, and that also brings you that sense of accountability. Anything we do, especially memorizing the Quran, is for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But at the same time, we want to use the means. And one of the means for you is to find ways to be accountable. And having a Quran teacher is the perfect solution for that. Because when you know that somebody, you might be paying him or not, it doesn't matter. When you know that someone is taking time out of their precious time, and then let's say it's 45 minutes, an hour, or whatever, and then you don't show up for the time that they have given you, or you don't meet the specific goal that they have given you, it's gonna have a bad look and you're gonna feel bad. But if it's just for you, there would be time where I would memorize with myself. Sometimes I would not feel like it and I would not get up. I would not do it. I would go back straight to sleep after Fajr, for example. But when I have the Quran teacher, I know I have to meet him by 7 a.m. I'm going to wake up extra early to go ahead to do my review and to actually memorize with him. I might be really tired from last night, but the fact that I know that I have the Quran teacher is really going to push me to do what I got to do regardless. Whether I'm tired, whether I don't feel like it or not, whether I feel lazy, whether I'm having a hard time, it doesn't matter. 7 a.m. I have to meet the Quran teacher, and he's here for me to listen, so I have to be there. Yeah, so that's really important for you to have that discipline, and having the Quran teacher is really important for that. That brings me to my third point. That one is really important, I would say, and it's gonna make your Quran stronger, basically. But that only comes with the frequency of when you're meeting him, I would say, because if you're meeting your Quran teacher, which is something I was doing in the past, I would only have time to memorize the new version of the new memorization, the new page, for example, and some of the review that is about something that I memorized in the past, right? But now that I have increased the frequency of having that Quran teacher to once a week to 5 times a week now, alhamdulillah, it has changed my revision. It has changed the way I do my class, basically, and it's much more stronger now, my Quran, alhamdulillah, because we go ahead and do the frequency of us reviewing the Quran that I already memorized in the new pages as well. Is there's more frequency, so it's faster. So I can come back, like let's say I can loop to what I memorized within 5 days, for example, and it's really good, alhamdulillah. That brings me to to the fourth point that I have for you guys, and it's having a proper structure, a proper organization in your revision. Because basically, when you memorize, I feel like there's a three phase that you have to follow, and the first one is going to be related to the old memorization, basically something that's really solid already. There's going to be the recent memorization, which is related to something that you memorized recently, but it's not really strong. And there's the brand new memorization. And I would always find myself struggling in organizing organizing my revision in a proper way and in a way that would be efficient for me to actually not forget what I already memorized. But with the Quran teacher now, what he does, for example, I'm just going to give you an example. He's going to tell me, okay, memorize from Surah An-Nas to Zalzala. And then from Juz Tabarak, go ahead and memorize Mursalat and Insan, for example. And then from the new memorization, memorize this and that. You know what I mean? And that gives me an idea of what I need to focus on. So I'm not all over the place, and I don't feel like I'm lacking on the old stuff that I memorized before, you know, all the Quran memorization that I did before, and I can also focus on the new one as well. You know what I mean? And it's really important to have that because the fact that I was all over the place, I didn't know exactly where to start. It would really make me give up sometime. Or I would feel like, man, I don't know how to handle this stuff. And yeah, I would feel overwhelmed. That's the right word. Alhamdulillah. But let me see. Sorry. Um, and yeah, and that brings me to the last point, I believe. I talked about following the Sunnah discipline, making the Quran stronger, and having a proper organization. And the last point was to have a support system. Yeah, I mean, this is something that I was not expecting because I didn't really think about it. But alhamdulillah, you know, since I had a Quran teacher with me, he really pushed me, and he's really pushing me to motivate me. Sometimes maybe I feel down. Sometimes I'm kind of lazy. Life is going on, and it's not always easy, especially as an adult. At a certain age, you have responsibilities. Uh, so you have to understand that things are not going to go your way every time because maybe you got bills to pay, you got to go to work, or maybe you have family issues. It happens to anyone, you know. So things like that are going to come in your way, and you need to have a good teacher that's going to understand you, that's going to understand where you're coming from, depending on your age, that you have responsibility, and he needs to be able to understand you, to be patient with you, to be forbearing, basically, to understand that you don't have the same profile as others, and he's gonna have to adjust and adapt to your level and be able to basically hold your hand and to guide you and to help you to stick to your commitment, basically. So it's really important. And alhamdulillah, I have two teachers. Soon, maybe I will only have one. I don't know yet exactly if I'm just going to focus on one. But for now, I have two, and both of them, alhamdulillah, they are amazing. We talk about life. They advise me. They tell me, okay, do this, do that. And sometimes if I'm not doing really good, they just tell me, okay, it's okay. You know, next week you come back, you do better, inshallah. And I go ahead up to the level where I actually talk about. Man, the light turned off, but it's okay. Anyway, um, subhanallah, sometimes we talk about stuff about my personal life. I tell them, okay, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, and they always find a way to cheer me up. So alhamdulillah, it's always good to have that support system. Anyway, that's all I had for you guys. Alhamdulillah, we're gonna wrap it up here. Like I said, following the sunnah, having discipline, making your Quran stronger, your revision organization way stronger as well, and to have that support system. These are the 5 reasons that I came up with, guys, for you. And I hope it's going to be beneficial for you. If you have any tips, if you have any reasons for you to have a Quran teacher, just go ahead, drop them below in the comments. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. And one last thing I wanted to add, if you're memorizing the Quran right now, if you're on your journey, if you hadn't started yet, please start. Please start. Don't get discouraged. You got to start somewhere, anywhere, anything you do. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it easy for you. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for all of us to remain steadfast, to be sincere in our action. Everything we do, it's for Him, and we need to have that in mind. Yes, sometimes we're gonna feel alone. Yes, sometimes it's gonna be difficult. Yes, sometimes um, you feel like you're not gonna be able to do it, or it's gonna be really really hard for you. But still, keep pushing, keep grinding, and then you're going to see the fruits eventually in this life and in the next, inshallah. There's a lot of barakah that comes in this life when you memorize the Quran. Sometimes you might not see it right away because maybe Allah wants to test your sincerity, but in the long run, you're always going to see the barakah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings in your life through the Quran. So stay strong. And like I said, if you haven't started yet, just start. Find a good teacher you can find online, a teacher you can find on site as well. Me, I have one teacher on site that I meet once a week, and the other one that I meet 5 times a week. That one is online. He's in Malaysia. But anyway, if you need any resources as well, too, let me know. Drop it in the comment, and I will share all the resources that I have, inshallah. Alhamdulillah. All right, guys. I hope you guys benefited from the video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.